Welcome. I am so excited that you have decided to tune into my free masterclass, How to Build Your Vision from the Ground Up. So, we'll get started in a couple of minutes. Welcome. I am so excited that you have decided to tune into my free masterclass, How to Build Your Vision from the Ground Up. So, we'll get started in a couple of minutes. Go ahead and tell a friend. Go ahead and get a notepad. Maybe open your notes on your laptop. Get something to write with. We're going to be talking about a lot of gems for you to write down. And lastly, invite a couple of friends that you know that you believe that they have something buried within them that they need to get out. So spread the message, and we will speak and get started in the next couple of minutes. Welcome. I see more people are getting on. I'm so excited that you're here. Right now, we're just waiting, giving it a couple of seconds. Go ahead and invite 5 friends that you know would be blessed by this tonight. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, 2 things, well, 3, I want us to do tonight. I want this webinar to be very interactive. So this masterclass will be interactive, and don't be afraid to ask questions. I know we have heard it all the time. There are no stupid questions, but seriously, you are able to ask anything that you may want to know. And lastly, let's have fun. So, my name is Lorena Head Williams. I help creators break through and identify problem areas in their business or vision. I graduated from the prestigious Howard University. I am from Liberia and Ghana. I'm a published author, a serial entrepreneur. I have created businesses from nonprofits to LLCs, you name it, from a hair business to clothing line to a event center to a nonprofit where I would go around the country speaking to millennials about God. I have done a little bit of it all. I've even had a branding company where I did graphic designs, video production for influencers and small businesses. So I've had a vast range of different businesses, and I'm so excited that you have joined tonight. I'm going to be dropping a lot of gems, so let's get started. So let's lay down a few ground rules and talk about what this masterclass is not. This masterclass is not a get fat rich fast scheme. Like, you're not going to get rich overnight. You're not going to be a millionaire by tomorrow. I'm so sorry to bust your bubble, but this course, this masterclass, if you decide to sign up afterwards, is going to require you to work and to be disciplined and dedicated. Building things from the ground up and starting from scratch does not happen overnight. It takes years of preparation and development. I want you to kind of think of things of terms of like a baby and a woman who is pregnant. It takes about 9 months for a baby to develop. And just like that, with the idea, vision, goal, dream, business, it takes time to develop certain things. But what I want you to do on this journey is to trust me and know by the end of these 4 sessions, think of me more so of like your midwife, and I'm going to help you birth whatever you feel like you're called to do in this world. Each of these assignments will require work. It's going to require you to do action. But I truly believe that there are 2 people in this life: the people that talk about it and the people who do what they talk about. And I need you to be those people that get up and do what you're talking about. One thing people have always said about me is I am going to do what I say and I'm going to show for it. So let's be people of action. Let's be people about our business, and let's be people who don't keep sitting on the gifts and ideas that God has given you. At the end of this, you will launch your vision and you'll be able to have the tools you need to develop your idea. So before we dive into this masterclass, I want to go ahead and quickly pray in, and we will jump in. So, Father, thank you so much for this masterclass, God. I believe that each person on this call, you have called to something specific, Lord. I just pray, God, that you ignite something in them, God. Whatever procrastination that has sat upon them, God, whatever spirit of fear that has sat upon them, God, whatever is stopping them from getting to the point that you need them to be, to birth out whatever you have placed on their heart, God. I pray that you bring the resources, you bring the communities, you bring the wisdom, you bring the guidance, and you bless this masterclass. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. So let's get to know me a little bit more in my business history. I think it's very important for us to build a rapport and trust so you can kind of know my journey and where I started, because believe it or not, I was just like you in your shoes without starting anything. And I had to take the first step. So this is baby me, no businesses under my belt, nothing at all, just a toddler chilling. So all of us start from somewhere. So I don't want you to get discouraged if you feel like, wow, everybody I know already has something. Everybody's already getting started. I'm so behind. I want you to know that Don't despise small beginnings. Everybody had to take the first step. And now it's your turn. So my entrepreneur journey started all the way back at Howard University. I was pressed to pay my rent one month. I didn't have enough money. And I decided, you know what? I'm good at hair. I have done a couple of my friends' hair for free in the past. I'm going to go ahead and make this into a business real quick. I believe my rent back then was like $1,400, and I had a few days to make it. So I was like, all right, I need to get this flyer out. I need to market it. I need to go ahead and have, reviews of people who I have done before. And I started to send this out. Believe it or not, I ended up paying my rent. And I was able to reach my goal. So this was my first time doing something entrepreneurship. And it was a success. Here's my graduation picture. And this is very important because I think after graduating is where I really stepped forth in entrepreneurship seriously, and trying to make something of myself. So after I graduated, I didn't get into any master programs. I didn't get a job. I saw all of my different peers starting their new jobs, and other people starting, master programs, going to med school, going to law school, whatever it is. And I had nothing. So I feel like in this portion of my life, I hit rock bottom. I was depressed. I was really sad. And this is when I was able to meet a man named Jesus. And I truly believe God came in and changed my entire life, because through him, I was able to understand who I was as a person, what he created me to be, who he was. And he started pulling out all of the different things in me. So if you are somebody that is not a Christian, or someone who is a Christian, I truly believe that the Lord, the Almighty, Jehovah, he will direct you and show you all the things that he created you to be. So this is when I came, and the Lord told me my purpose and my passion. So let's talk about purpose and passion, because if you are a believer, we all have the same purpose. It is to spread the gospel to all disciples onto earth. Spread the gospel and make disciples onto all of the earth. And the different ways that we spread the gospel and make disciples may be different depending on person to person. When we talk about passion, we talk about what we want to do. So back then I had a passion for event planning. So I was applying to jobs for event planning. I probably applied to over 2,000 jobs during this time, and I didn't get any of them. But what I want to say is a lot of times your passion will fit into the things that God has called you to do during different seasons of your life. So my passion was event planning, and it was helping others. It was serving women, showing them who they are in Christ and encouraging them. So I created a weekly conference call. And let me just be honest. When I first started this, it was just two people on the line, myself and a friend that I got to get on. So when I'm asking questions, it wasn't an awkward silence. And that quickly grew from 2 to 50 people. So I just say that to say is like when you first start, you may have no supporters. Nobody may be there. It might just be you and a trusted friend. It might just be you alone, but that's not an excuse to keep going. So after my weekly conference call became more regular and I was having regular people tune in, I ended up making it a podcast. And this is in the year of 2015, 16. And I had a podcast at that time. From there, I ended up, starting a blog. From my blog writings, I ended up writing a book. So again, you have to start from somewhere and things build up on each other. And finally, this was literally the pivoting point of my life. During my 24th birthday, I decided I wanted to have a sleepover. And I wanted my sleepover to be a place where all the people in my life could come together and get a breakthrough from whatever thing that they have going on in their life. And I called it the Breakthrough Sleepover. I ended up posting this picture online and describing what happened at the sleepover. And I had people from all over commenting and talking about, oh, you should bring it to my city and you should bring it to this city. And that is when I created the Breakthrough Tour. So the Breakthrough Tour was when I went to different cities, gathering women and men to talk about their deep heart seated issues. It was a millennial ministry. And it started from a sleepover. It started from just servanthood. It started from just the idea. And I ended up creating a 6-city tour. Mind you, I have never planned an event in my life. So I went from planning no events to doing 6 cities. Make it make sense. I had no experience. Some of these cities I'd never been to. However, I had faith in myself. I had confidence in myself. And I knew that God was calling me to do it. So I contacted different people. And it's so crazy that sometimes you may not even know what God is calling you to do. And you may feel like you're coming against a lot of no's, a lot of closed doors. But as I was trying to be someone's event coordinator for a company, God was trying to make me have a tour and plan my own events. As I was trying to be a speaker at different people's events, God made me have a event where I had to ask people to be a speaker for me. So a lot of times, whatever we're thinking about is too small, and God wants to expand us. So this was my first tour stop, my first event, and it was a success. By the first year, we did 6 cities. The second year, we did 14 cities. And something that started off, remember, with myself and a trusted friend on a weekly conference prayer line became something that so many people were a part of. I ended up with the tour having a team of 14 staff. I had so many different speakers at every single city that I went to. I met so many people, and this all started with a baby step. And this is just some graphics so you can just see. So I'm just here to tell you, don't let anything stop you. Don't let anything stop you. You are able to do it. So let's talk a little bit about what stopped me, how I overcame it, knowing who I am, people needing me, and being different. I feel like let's talk about the fears and what is holding you back.
What stopped me was fear, doubt, who would support me, who was not going to be there. And how I overcame it is realizing who I was and that people needed what I had. So a lot of y'all have visions and dreams and goals and ideas in your stomach that you're pregnant with. But you're so complacent and paralyzed with fear that there's people who need what you have. The same way that I had to step out and go to these cities without knowing anything, there was people at the end of every single city that needed the things and the gifts and the ideas that I had. So I want that to be a driving force for y'all to really be able to step out and do what you need to do. So people need you. Another thing was a lot of times, especially with myself, I was like, you know what? Somebody's already doing this. But who cares if somebody is already doing it? How many people on earth is like you? 0. How many people have your same exact fingerprint? 0. So the fact that there is a difference right there shows that there's not 2 people on earth that are going to do the same thing the same way. So you're different. There's probably people who need something different. The same thing, like when I think about Rihanna or whatever, when she created her makeup line, there's so many makeup lines, but she had a difference with her. She wanted a makeup line that touched every single color skin that there is, and nobody else was doing that. You either had makeup lines that favor, Caucasian people, Spanish people, or Black people, but you didn't have one that actually covered every single shade ever. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the different sessions so you will understand and get what each session comes with. In fact, let me pause for a moment because I remember that when I was actually designing this course, I felt like I had a message from y'all, for y'all from God. So when I was doing everything and I was praying and I was just, really trying to be in alignment to see about doing this webinar, I felt like the Lord was telling me, tell my people I'm birthing things into them. They must not be afraid to step out on faith and believe bigger for themselves and what I have given them. There is no coincidence that they are on tonight's call, and I want you, Lorena, to be their midwife in helping them launch whatever they're about to push out. Many of you are pregnant with ideas, and God is saying it's time to push. Pushing will be hard, it will hurt, and you will want to give up. But you have to think about it's not going to kill you, but there are birthing pains associated with pushing something out. Tell them that I am doing a new thing in them, and I will bring people along with them that are going to help them and reach whatever that their vision, dreams, and goals are. So I know before I told y'all, I want y'all to think about this whole process as if you are being pregnant. But what you have to remember is when you're birthing a baby out, it takes how many months for a baby to be ready to come out? It takes 40 weeks, right? 9 months. So that is during the developing stages. If a baby is pushed out too early, they're premature, they have risk factors, they can die. There's a lot of things that are associated with it that if they, don't get the proper development, things that can cause. So that's the same thing with the vision and dreams that y'all have. Some of y'all are still in the process of being pregnant, and some of y'all are in the process of y'all needing to push. And we probably have a couple of people in the process that are probably post-term, meaning that you're over having to push them out, meaning you're about 42 weeks due, and that as well can be a fatal position for a child because if you're staying in the womb too long, you're losing oxygen, you can't fit, you're not getting the proper nutrients, like there's certain birth defects that happen within this time. So there's 3 types of people on this call tonight. People who are still in the planning stages and they're developing their gifting and stuff, so they're still developing their vision. There's people who are ready to birth, and there's people who are post-due, meaning that their vision should have been birthed 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. And if they don't get this out sooner or later, the vision is going to die. So I want y'all to think about when you finally birth something, when you birth a child, whatever. In fact, let's stop right there. How many people, can people put in the chat which stage that they are in right now with their vision and goal? If you can't figure out where you are now. So when you finally do push out this baby, you push out your vision. When you have a baby, you have to think about the baby has to be nurtured, the baby has to be cared for, the baby has to be cultivated. And if the baby doesn't get these things, love and all of those things, that the baby is going to grow up in a way that it shouldn't, right? So we all know that when a child is raised the proper way, there's certain things that the child is able to accomplish. And when a child is raised the bad way, or they're neglected, or they're not taken care of properly, the child ends up a different way. So I want y'all to think about that with your vision as well. If you don't take care of your vision properly, it's either going to go right or wrong. So you have to be responsible and accountable as a parent to your vision and be a good steward over what has been given to you. So session 1, this is what you're going to get in session 1, and I really want y'all to pay attention to this. So session 1, we're going to talk about purpose versus passion, and just a little snippet of what we're going to be talking about. One thing that I learned was there's a difference between your passion and your purpose. And sometimes y'all are so fixated on your passions becoming your purpose, and sometimes your passion is just going to be a part of your purpose, but it's not actually your purpose. So you'll have to be mindful that you are correctly discerning and figuring out the difference between your passion and your purpose. I told y'all before that I wanted to do events. right? So I was event coordinator for my college. That was something I was passionate about. I spent all my time trying to apply to all these positions, but what I didn't know that events was my passion, but not my purpose. And finally, a year in 2016, the Lord ended up telling me that events was just a part of the bigger picture, and I was making it my focus when it was not my focus. Now, looking back at it, the breakthrough tour is my purpose, making sure that everybody taps into whatever God created them to be, along with helping them connect back with God and their community and sisterhood and brotherhood is my purpose. But my passion of creating events, I still do it in my purpose. So during session one, we're gonna really identify your passions and your purpose and trying to figure out that. We're also gonna come up with your business plan. We're going to figure out your why because I think it's very important. If you don't know what your why is, then when things get hard, you're going to deviate from your vision and you're going to give up and you're going to quit. So figuring out your why is important. I know what my why is. So I'm going to help you figure out your why. We're going to talk about your mission, your purpose, in your vision, in your idea, your dream, or your business idea or product, because that's very important. Your mission statement is what you want to accomplish. Your purpose is the reason why you're doing it. And your vision is where you see things going furthermore. If you don't have a product already, we're going to identify what your product is and how to monetize it correctly. And the second thing we're going to talk about is your target audience. I truly believe that if a product isn't selling, it should be because that product is not for that person. So figuring out your target audience is very important. A lot of times people things fail because they haven't been able to identify the proper person that needs to buy into what they're giving. So for instance, it's like me trying to sell maxi pads to a man, telling him all the reasons and all the benefits. The man ain't gonna buy it because guess what? He's not my target audience. That is not for him. So sometimes some of the things that we are trying to sell is to people who aren't going to be the people to support it. So identifying your target audience is very, very essential in when you're creating your stuff. Okay. The second session, we're going to talk about let's brand you. So we're going to walk you through how to brand your vision in all directions. This is when you're going to have a brand consulting class. We're going to talk about brand development, brand exposure, your logo, your content creation, your business naming if you don't have a name for your product or your vision or your goal yet. We're going to talk about your brand identity, which also means your brand personality. So my brand is very authoritative, it's very informative, it's very inspiring. So the different characteristics of my brand, we're going to talk about yours. So when people see your brand, what do they get from it? What do they feel? What is the attitude? What is the atmosphere? So we're going to talk about all of those things so we can develop your brand correctly. In the chat, can y'all go ahead and type a couple of your favorite brand ideas? Can y'all type a couple of your favorite brands? So while y'all are doing that, we're also going to get into your logo. If you don't have a logo, we're going to talk about the best logo to get. We're also going to have like a quick Photoshop class. So then for people who don't really have the money to buy their own logo or whatever, we're going to teach you some quick skills for you to be able to develop that on your own. We're going to talk about images and visuals and color schemes and how all of those are important for creating a brand. If you want a brand that's going to stand out and people are going to know the difference between your brand. For instance, with Nike, everybody knows the slogan for Nike, right? Just do it. We all know it's a check. That is something that when you see a check on some sneakers, you know ahead of time it's Nike. Same thing for Forever 21. Everybody knows if you see a yellow bag that has John 3:16 on it, that's Forever 21. So we're going to figure out how to differentiate your brand and how to make things stand out. So when people see it, they know automatically that is what you are. We're also going to talk about marketing strategies and branding you because, like we said, developing your target audience and knowing how to market to them correctly, it's important that your brand is put together. A lot of brands like Starbucks and things of that nature, if you look into them, the brands are very professional. They're very clear cut. You understand what they're selling. You understand what is going on. So we're going to develop that to make sure that everyone's branding skills are on 100%. So session 3 is when we're going to talk about get your credentials right. I truly believe a lot of people have vision, dreams, and goals, and they do not get their paperwork all the way together. So we're going to talk about the difference between a 501c3 and an LLC and which way you want to go. We're going to talk about copywriting your stuff, so therefore you are protected in all areas and nobody's going to come and steal your work. We're going to talk about also trademarking your design and everything, so nobody can get that as well. And the bonus for this class is we're going to talk about a sponsorship package. So we're going to talk about exactly how to get everything that you need for when you actually do launch your vision, that things are paid for. For instance, some of the events for the Breakthrough Tour, I don't have to pay for anything. I don't have to pay for a venue. I don't have to pay. Hold on, somebody thinks I can hear them. Make sure you mute your chat. Okay, I don't have to pay for a venue. I don't have to pay for food. I don't have to pay for a lot of the things that I do because of this sponsorship package. So I'm going to help y'all be able to develop sponsors to be able to support your vision and goal and have people partner with you. So there's a deck that I send to people, and there is an email that I send out, and y'all will all be learning the process of that to be able to solidify different grants and sponsorship deals. So the final class is session 4. So session 4 is about you ready, let's launch. So I'm going to show you how to launch everything successfully, and we're going to talk to you about different mistakes that I have made. We're going to talk about your launch strategies and how to come up with a defined launch business plan to be able to launch your vision in the proper way. We're going to talk about your business cards for people who don't have money to go ahead and get somebody to build a website. I'm going to be teaching you simple things to be able to build your own website. We'll be going through all the sections, like about us section and everything that people are looking for. So sometimes when I was looking to build my own website, it was about $2,500. So in this class, we're going to, do some basic things so you'll be able to build your own website. We're going to talk about social media platforms as well, and how to maximize the proper exposure for them and the different marketing strategies with social media to grow your social media followers, because we're in a day and age that social media is very prominent. So you have to be on social media if you want a successful business. Every single brand that's out there is on social media. So being where the rush of people are is very essential, and being able to do it correctly is important. We're going to talk about announcements, newsletters, giveaways, what to do during opening week to get people reacting and engagement on your page, and how to keep your clients' attention. So once you launch, once everybody's excited, how do you keep this excitement that these people are going to keep coming back? That's one thing that you want. You want people to go to your brand at least once or twice a week to do whatever you're doing. So whether or not you're doing a newsletter, whether or not you're doing a monthly something you have to do to keep your clients' attention and knowing that you're on the forefront of their mind. So what you will leave with after going through all of these sessions, you will know how to get your vision off the ground. You will have your vision clear. You will have a business plan. You will have structure. You will know how to set it up correctly. You will also know how to get all your credentials right to protect your vision. You'll know how to brand yourself correctly. You'll have help with website and logo, which is over a $3,000 process. You'll know how to market yourself correctly, exposure, and you'll know how to grow your social media following. So let's talk about what I learned during my first year, the do's and don'ts. So, of course, I got to bring everything back to God. I know some people may not be spiritual, but I am. So he is the center of my whole life. One thing I learned, that when things don't go the way I planned, sometimes that's better, especially with your vision. There's going to be certain things that you see things going a certain way, but you have to be teachable, and you have to be able to know that if something isn't working, you have to let it go and understand that it happened the way it needs to happen. So that's one thing that you have to realize in your vision, is letting it go when things aren't happening the way you want it, because maybe the way you envisioned it isn't proper, right? So don't be afraid to step out and do something you've never done. Some of y'all have ideas that you have never done before, and that doesn't mean that you can't do it if you aren't an expert. I told y'all with Breakthrough Designs, I never had a client before. I did everything for myself. However, I was still able to sell myself, market that, and be able to do good. I think sometimes learning in the process and trial and error is the best way to learn. So learn from your experiences, and luckily y'all get to learn from my experiences because I have been through a lot with starting multiple businesses and them failing, and now having a business that is actually growing now. Another thing is, don't be upset or reject or be upset about the people who don't support you, and if your family and friends are not your number one supporters. At first, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on the people who do support me, but I saw that I was missing a link. I was so bitter towards my friends and family who weren't on the forefront of helping me. But that goes back to your target audience. You can't be mad at your brothers and your daddy for not buying the maxi pads that we talked about before if that's not who is going to buy into your vision, right? So you have to understand that you have to focus on your target audience. And if your family and friends are not your target audience, then it's okay that they're not supporting you, because guess what? It was never meant for them anyway. That's why I said you have to really identify who those people are. So when you market it, you're getting sales and people are buying into that because they want your product. Okay. Let's talk about deadlines. Being an entrepreneur, you're going to have a lot of deadlines, and sometimes these deadlines are self-projected. So I'm not talking about things that are realistic. I'm talking about unrealistic deadlines. So I don't want you to get done with this course and think like, oh my God, in 3 days, I got to launch my business, blah, blah, blah. No. Like I told you before, if you don't nurture your idea, if you don't grow it properly, if you don't do things, you're going to put it out there and it's going to not be as great as it can. So make sure your deadlines are deadlines that make sense. During these courses, I told you I'm going to be giving y'all homework and things of that nature. So I'm going to keep you on track and the pace that you need to go. Please know and be confident and don't doubt yourself. There's a reason why you have this idea. There's a reason why you're on this call. And there is a reason why you're ready to birth your vision. So you have to be confident and know that you are enough and you can do this. Okay, so let's talk about failure. I told y'all before I had a lot of businesses that failed in the past. Failure does not mean that what you're doing is not right. Failure sometimes means you're doing it in the wrong season. So what didn't work 2 years ago might work now, because guess what? It's a different season, it's a different soil. There's a different trend of what's popular and what's not. So you have to understand that sometimes what you were trying to birth before, I'm at the season, the year, the trend may have not been favorable, but right now it may be favorable, if you get what I mean. So you just have to be careful and know that failure doesn't always mean that it doesn't work. So sometimes you have to pick yourself up. Another thing that you need to learn about being an entrepreneur is don't let your feelings deter you in focusing on your vision. Don't. It takes discipline and commitment. If you are working 9 to 5 right now and you're sick of your job and you barely want to come out, I have a news flash. An entrepreneur is going to require more work, because at this point, if you don't do what you need to do, you're not going to make any money. So everything depends on yourself. This isn't somebody else's vision that you're just doing a piece of it. This is your whole thing. You can't let your feelings dictate to you. Do you think that I can wake up and be like, oh snap, I have to be in Houston next Saturday. I don't want to be in Houston for the Breakthrough Tour, so I'm just not going to go because I don't feel like it. No, I have a brand now, and my brand is a representation of me. And if I don't show up and do the work for it, it's going to tell. So once you have your vision, your business out there, your dedication and your commitment and your discipline has to grow. Because if it doesn't and you let your feelings deter you, you're only going to fail. So stay focused at what the task is. Another thing is, don't critique yourself about everything. Don't beat yourself up. You're doing enough. The fact that you were even on this call tonight shows me that you're dedicated in birthing whatever vision that you had. There was a lot of people that signed up for this course. It was probably 150. And so far, maybe 75 people signed up. So then again, those are people who talk about doing the vision, but people who don't put in the work or the action. So don't critique yourself. You're already at the first stage. Because everything I do goes back to God. Number 9 is all about checkups. I always self-reflect. So even if you're not in a spiritual aspect, it's always good to do inventory into your life, seeing what's working, what's not working. And we're going to have checkups every week during the sessions to see where you are in your progress reports and stuff. The last thing is pray, pray, pray. In chaos and everything, when I lack wisdom, I ask God to give me wisdom in terms of my business plan, my marketing strategies, the blueprint of my business idea. Everything that I do comes from God, seriously, because He's the person that even got me to the place that I'm at. So if you don't believe in Jesus or whatever, do whatever you need to do, but that's where I get my wisdom from.
All right. This course is for you. I wrote a little bit about certain people who I am speaking to right now, and these are just a couple of thoughts you may be having and things of that nature. You can kind of look more into them on my website. But number one, you have a vision or business, but you're clueless about where to start. You have given up on a dream, vision, or business and believe you have to accept it or it just won't happen for you anymore. You're struggling to find the words for a vision and business and you need help identifying language. You have asked friends, you have read books, listened to podcasts, watched YouTube videos, but you're still in circles trying to figure out, how do I get this started? You can't seem to reach your business goals and have no idea how to pivot. So those are for those who are already business owners. You aren't able to attract new customers to your business and you don't have returning customers. You know your past trauma may be affecting your business and you want to zero in and identify that. Your business is not making any money. So sometimes I have clients who already have a business, but they're not reaching their ROI, so their return on investment. They're not reaching their goals. They do not have new clients. They do not have returning clients. And we are going to help go backwards and kind of see if the foundational work of your business is intact. So this is not just for people who have not started. This course will also help those who may have started their business, but their building blocks are shaky and it's not firm. If you check up on my website, you'll learn a little bit more about the framework on how I go about it. So first, I think the pillars of this is servitude, gratitude, and discernment. So servitude is understanding, who do you serve? What do you have? What gift you can put back into the world? Gratitude is recognizing where you currently are, what you currently have, and recognizing what things are in your possession or your territory that you're not utilizing. And discernment is really understanding what's hindering you, your roadmap, how to go about things, guidance, and how to move forward. All right. If you check on our website, you can learn more about some past students who have taken this course before, kind of where they are now, and how this course changed their life. So let's talk about what's included. So we talked about 4 sessions during this, but we also have 2 bonus sessions where we're going to be talking about identity, learning about more so who you are, how do you show up in your business, if you're showing up in your business healed, your identity. So let's just say if you suffer from rejection, that rejection that you deal with is going to suffer in your business and spill over. So the 2 bonus sessions are going to talk about identity and who you are and kind of, talking about those deep-seated hidden issues that you may be experiencing. Every single student has a 1-hour one-on-one session, which is valued at $300. You have a private community group. You have customized content and modules that I have done by hand and designed each one to help bring forth your vision and business. You have a weekly class call that also has a Q&A session, which keeps you accountable. I'm also going to be pairing you with another student to keep you accountable to the assignments and the homework. You have 24 access in email to ask me any question, and you have a small class size. Truly believe that helps me zero in and focus on each and every single one of you. So bonus workshops that will be included that we didn't talk about is how to launch your YouTube, how to design your YouTube page, And we talked about this already, your sponsorship package. So, payment options. So, we have 10 spots that are available. We have a paid in full where you're able to save a little bit more money, or we have a weekly payment plan. So, every week, $75, or you can pay in full right now for $2.99. However, if you sign up before midnight, I will deduct every weekly payment to $50 a week, or you can pay in full for $250. So go ahead and take advantage of that. Let's just say you don't want to enroll in the course, but you do want to have like a clarity call or a clarity session. I will be offering these tonight only for $75 for 1 hour. Tomorrow it will be back to the $300 that it typically is. And if you kind of want to first see if we're a good fit, I do have a 15-minute chat call that you're able to sign up for. So thank you so much for signing up for this masterclass. Even if you do not sign up and I'm able to be your midwife and birthing your vision, I hope you are able to take some of these gems and step out on your vision. Regardless if I'm a part of your journey or not, God has put something in you and you need to do it. I don't care what it is. I don't care how small you have to start. I want you to identify, what do you have currently around you that can help you go forth in starting this dream, vision, business idea. You'll be very surprised how many of us have so many resources around us, but we cannot even identify what things are there that God has given us to help us. So if you have any questions, we're going to go into a live Q&A session right now. And thank you. So let's go ahead and answer any questions that you may have. Anything at all, anything you want to talk about, any business tips that you may have on the top of your minds. And I will be staying on for the next 5 to 10 minutes to answer those questions. Again, you have until midnight to take advantage of the bonuses that I talked about. We have 10 spots available. If you sign up tonight, you will not be paying these prices for the payment options. However, if you sign up tomorrow, they will be back at regular price. All right. If anybody has any questions, this is the Q&A portion where I'll be able to go more in depth about. All right. If anybody has any questions, okay, hold on. My live is on my phone as well. Let me go back to the sessions just in case anybody has questions about the sessions or anything they want to know in terms of the sessions. Again, tonight only. If you pay before midnight, it won't be $75 a week. It will be $50 a week. And instead of paying $300 in full, it will be $250 in full. So don't miss out on those things. Yeah, I hope y'all had a great time and you were able to take notes. I don't see any questions. Wait, how do I switch 9 to 5 to my own business? Honestly, I would say that question is really about discernment. You would really need to pray and see what God has you to be, because I've heard of people going right from their 9 to 5, quitting, going into business and being very successful. But I have also heard of people doing that and losing everything. So I think the Lord, when I went back and talked to y'all about discernment, I get all my strategies from the Lord. When I was doing the breakthrough tour and I got different people to sign up for different cities, the Lord told me to get all the speakers to sell tickets for me and give them a portion of the ticket. Back then, I didn't know that was called affiliate marketing. But that strategy, before I knew the name of it, was something that the Lord shared with me. So if you want to switch from your 9 to 5 to your business, logically speaking, let's take the spiritual aspect out of it. I would say when your business can support your bills and you have enough money, savings, emergency fund, um, to pay your bills, to pay yourself, and the business is thriving, then you can quit. If not, I would, highly advise against it unless you have a word from the Lord. Um, if God has told you to do it, do it. Even if you don't think that you have the resources, there's something already out there. Um, when I started my design business, I didn't have any customers, but I had all the graphics I designed for my weekly conference call that I showed you earlier. Let me go back to it. Um, so I put that on my page and it's a graphic. People said, "Oh wow, you can do a graphic. Let me do that." So you can start from somewhere. So I would also say that. And even me doing this master class again cuz it's reloaded from something I did 5 years ago. It took me fighting a lot of different thoughts of fear to get back out there. So the same thing that y'all are going to be doing, I'm doing it as well. So it's possible. I just believe that God has given y'all so many ideas and visions, and what you don't understand is everything that you have that God has given you is unlocking another destiny. Your yes is for nations and nations, because you unlock one person, the next person unlocks someone else, and your business might be the very thing that somebody needs to come in contact with to know who God is. So even if you're, a basketball player, or you have a product of selling lip gloss or whatever it is, all of those different things can unlock people. And those people who are unlocked unlock other people. So when the Bible says that nations, you will unlock nations, that too, is important. So I was experiencing a lot of warfare doing this course, and I realized it's because I'm coming against the spirit of fear, because some people are fearful to do their things. I'm unlocking destinies. I'm getting people to stop sitting on their gifts that God has given them. And the enemy wants you complacent. So get up and do it. You have until midnight. I've done it, payment plans. And to be honest with you guys, the plan structures for this course is very low. Um, so for what you're getting, I would say I would probably charge like over $1,000. But for me, this isn't about the money. I really have a passion and heart for this. All right, next question. What days will we be meeting for sessions? So sessions will be Wednesday nights at 8. You will get assigned a partner. We will have live sessions. You will have homework. Um, it is a program where you're going to be required to do the work. So when I showed you, hold on, let's go to session 1. When I showed you about identifying your passion and your vision, you're going to write stuff down. You're going to write down your why. You're going to have your purpose and your mission and your vision. You're going to talk about different ways you're going to monetize the things that you're created. Like this course, if you follow it and you're dedicated to the work, you will have a whole business out. It's when we get to brand development, you're gonna have everything. We're gonna go through a business naming session if you don't know what your business name is. Or let's say you have a business name. We're gonna go through the process to make sure you named your business the right name. I have a lot of clients where we do rebranding because what they thought they were putting out there wasn't what was happening. A funny example is when I became a realtor, I wanted to do real estate, but I also wanted to do branding. And I wanted people to see how I brand myself as a realtor so I can get more branding clients. So I called myself the branding realtor. And to me, it was like a great name, right? Like genius, the branding realtor. Come along on my journey of real estate. But guess what, y'all? The type of customers I was getting were realtors. Realtors were hitting me up wanting me to brand them. But what I wanted was businesses and influencers. So I realized that my name that I thought was getting to a target was actually wrong. The branding realtor, people thought I branded realtors. So that's why it's so important you really think about your business name, because you might be targeting the wrong people altogether. And that's why you're not becoming successful. Not because your product isn't great, not because your idea isn't great, but because you don't know how to speak to the people that you need to get. So Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. Um, we will start next Wednesday. Let's see. Thank you so much. How do I scale my business? That's a loaded question. It would depend, what is your business? We would have to kind of think about what your business is. I had a client do a clarity call with me who was a stylist, and she wanted to know how she can get more clients. And typically her monetization looked like her speaking to people one on one to design their outfits for something. But I told her, hey, that's kind of expensive. If you want to make it more affordable, why don't you start a course or have a subscription where people can subscribe maybe $30 a month, and every month you give them an evening outfit with links to websites, a workout outfit, a business outfit, a birthday brunch outfit, whatever it is. But your subscribers would get links to different outfits, and that's how you can kind of build from there. So when we talk about monetizing or how to scale your business, like, we kind of have to identify what your business is, and then we can kind of brainstorm and get creative on how you can grow it. So that was one of my clarity calls that I did for a stylist. And um, yeah, definitely sign up if that's something you want to do. All right, let me go back to the packages just in case anybody wants to see it. So weekly payments, $50 a week for the 6 weeks. Um, the first 2 weeks, we're going to be talking. I'm still trying to see if the Lord wants me to use this first 2 weeks to speak about identity, or if we're going to do that at the end. So those will be $50 a week if you get it tonight. If not, tomorrow it will be $75 a week. And paid in full will be 250 tonight. If not, it will be three back to 300 tomorrow. If you want to do a clarity call, that's $75 tonight, but after then it will be $300 for 1 hour tomorrow. And if you want to have like a quick chat to see if we kind of should work together, that is totally free. And then we can go from there. But I really think that you should take advantage of the course because it's payment plans and the clarity call if you need that. So, all right. If there's no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast. But I'm so grateful that you signed in tonight and you listened to me for an hour. I'm so honored. And I hope that I'm going to walk along with you with this journey. Check your emails. I'm going to send some reminders and just some other things. And I will send a recording out. So, just in case you missed the beginning or the end or something like that, you can go back and review. So, good night. Okay, someone just asked a question. What is discussed in the clarity call? So for the clarity call for that 1 hour, you're going to talk to me about what your business is, what you want to do, how do you monetize it. I'm going to ask several questions to kind of evaluate where you are, and then what type of hindrances are you having. Some people, they're not attracting new customers. Someone else may not be getting old customers to come back. So they're not getting re-engaging customers. Some people, may have issues in terms of leadership, or some people on their team, team building. So we'll kind of identify what the problem is in your business and come up with a step-by-step plan for you to implement to kind of get a breakthrough in your business. That's for people who already have a business. Now, for someone who doesn't have a business, a clarity call could be a branding session where we'll, kind of talk about everything we're going to talk about during the course, but you just have that one-on-one time. So we'll kind of walk along like what's hindering you or what ideas do you have, coming up with a plan for you to implement and so forth. So I hope that helps. All right. Okay, well, good night, everyone. And I will send you an email. I'm so excited. Ah.